There are places you visit, and then there are places that quietly leave their mark on your soul long before you ever set foot on their streets. Welcome to Hallstatt! Some places don't ask for your attention. They simply wait, quietly, patiently, until you're ready to discover them. Long before the village revealed itself across the still waters of the lake, the journey had already begun telling its story. Hallstatt, Austria's fairytale village. Good morning! Today is our Hallstatt day. We are just waiting for our train to arrive. Aalis tayo dito sa Vienna main station ng 5:57 a.m. and we are expected to arrive sa Hallstatt ng 9:47 in the morning. So parang mga 3 hours and 50 minutes din yung ating travel time. Wala tayong masyadong tulog, alam mo naman. Umuwi kami kagabi almost midnight na from the show, after watching the show, yung opera sa Vienna State Opera, and then nakatulog tayo siguro mga past 12 na, almost 1 na din actually, and then nagising tayo ng 3:30 in the morning to get ready for today's trip. Pero kahit na medyo wala tayong tulog, sasamantalahin natin yan kasi almost 4 hours, 3 hours 50 minutes naman yung biyahe natin. So we will take advantage of our train ride para doon tayo rest. If you're watching this vlog at nagbabala ka din na pumunta dito sa Europe and itong Golden Triangle as they call it, ang Prague, ang Budapest, ang Vienna, binabalak mo ding bisitahin, pwede mong i-consider ang area na to, and I'm sure dadaan ka at gagamitin mo ang train station na to. Ito siya. Maraming trains dito. I see 540. Or wait lang, hindi ba ito yung train station namin? I mean train station. Baka naman ito yung train namin. Ang chika-chika ko pa. Yes, this is it. Oh my God. Akala ko. Oo nga, Tony. Maiiwan ka pa.
Oh my God.
Ayan, double-decker tong train na to. Sige, chika pa. More chika, more fun. More chika, more fun. Maiiwan ka talaga. So, coach number 4 tayo. And we booked window seats. Naka-backpack lang kami kasi whole day tayo sa biyahe natin. Leaving Vienna behind, the scenery slowly begins to change. The city's grand boulevards give way to rolling hills, quiet villages, and the towering Austrian Alps. Sometimes, the journey becomes just as memorable as the destination. Reaching Hallstatt isn't as simple as stepping off the train. If you're arriving by rail, you'll get off at Hallstatt Bahnhof, a small station on the opposite side of the lake. And that's where the experience becomes even more special. After almost 4 hours, andito na rin tayo sa Hallstatt. Oh my goodness. This lake village is really beautiful. So sasakay tayo ng boat. And if this is your first time here, just wanna share with you na cash lang yung tinatanggap nila. They don't accept cards. So dapat meron kang ready na cash. Very popular itong place na to, kaya ang daming turista. Waiting at the dock is a ferry that connects the train station to the village itself. It's more than just a transportation. It's the traditional gateway to Hallstatt. In case you're wondering, the round-trip fare costs €8 per person, and while the crossing takes only a few minutes, it's one of the most unforgettable parts of the journey.
Ang swerte naman ng mga nakatira dito.
As the boat gently glides across the calm waters of Hallstatt, the village slowly begins to unravel itself. Its iconic church spire rising above centuries-old homes, framed by towering mountains. For many first-time visitors, this is the very first glimpse of Hallstatt, and perhaps the moment they realize why this small Austrian village has captured the hearts of many travelers across the world. And just like that, we finally made it to Hallstatt. Stepping off the ferry, the village felt even more intimate than I imagined, quietly tucked between the lake and the mountains. But beyond the view we've seen countless times in photographs is a place shaped by thousands of years of history. And now that we're here, it's time to discover Hallstatt beyond the postcard.
So ito yung map ng village na to. And very informative siya because tuturuan ka niya ano yung mga hotels, ano yung mga restaurants na makikita mo. So naka-number siya. And then ito yung map para mas madali mong malocate. Like this one, hotel to. So if you want na mag-overnight, pwedeng-pwede talaga. Mahal lang talaga yung mga rates nila. Merong mga hotels na mas mura, pero you just need to book yung reservation mo. Siguro mga 3 to 5 stations away from Hallstatt. And yun yung ginagawa ng mga smart travelers. You can visit the area, hindi ka masyadong mapapamahal sa hotel accommodation mo. And then, pwede kang bumalik-balik dito. Nice ng painting niya, oh. Street artist.
Long before tourism, salt drew people to Hallstatt and sustained generations of families here. But building a community between a mountain and a lake came with its own challenges. With limited flat land available, homes had to fit wherever they could, clustered along the shoreline and climbing up to the mountainside. And in many ways, that centuries-old adaptation to the landscape created the Hallstatt we recognize today. As we walked further, the narrow streets led us into the market square, the heart of the village, where homes, shops, and everyday life have gathered for generations. It is fascinating to think that beneath all this beauty is a place whose story began not with tourism, but with the mountain itself.
Generally, Austria's tap water is clean and very drinkable. Potable talaga yung tap water nila. So, dito sa plaza, sa Hallstatt Village, nakita natin itong drinking fountain na to. And i-refill natin yung water bottle natin. Mahalang bottled water dito ha. Yung maliit na bottled water dito, €2. So mabuti na lang, itong spring water na to, drinkable. That's according to the locals. So hindi tayo natatakot na basta-basta tayong iinom ng tubig sa fountain at magkakasakit tayo. Malinis yung lasa ng tubig nila. Alam mo yung very light and very cold at saka manamis-namis. Masarap.
Alam mo, sabi nila, when you name Hallstatt or you call this village Hallstatt, it's not just the village name. You're also naming Europe's oldest or one of Europe's oldest culture, yung Hallstatt culture, which dates back to 7,000 years ago. Ang isa sa mga pinaka lumang minahan ng salt ay nasa Hallstatt. And this village is actually part of a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So kaya meron sila ditong salt mining tour. But I think closed to for renovation until September 2026. So unfortunately, hindi natin yan mapupuntahan for today. But for general information, the name Hallstatt is famous in archaeology because of Hallstatt culture. So hindi lang talaga siya beautiful lakeside village. Talagang may rich history and culture then ang place na to. Not to mention na in 1997, this was also declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. May background, Lake Hallstatt. Tignan mo naman yan. Oh my goodness. Napaka serene. As in, sobrang kalmado ng lake niya, no? Alam mo yung parang ganda. Ang ganda ng area na to. Na-push talaga natin na makapag-lunch dito sa lakeside. Thank you. Sa lakeside na to. Dahil nga, kahit medyo pricey siya, dahil nga, hindi naman tayo everyday nandito. Cheers! Nag-order tayo ng potato soup. Tikman natin while waiting for yung pork schnitzel na in-order ko. Si Leuven, he wants to be safe. Bacon with chicken breast wrapped in bacon yata yung in-order. Oh, chicken schnitzel yung in-order niya. Lasang potato soup. Char. This is what Leuven ordered. Chicken schnitzel, ako pork. There are moments in a journey that don't need an itinerary. Sometimes, all you need is a quiet table by the lake, a good meal in front of you, and nowhere else you need to be. Here in Hallstatt, surrounded by the mountains, fresh air, and the stillness of the lake, lunch somehow became more than just a lunch. It was the unhurried conversations, the occasional silence, and the simple pleasure of sitting together in a place that almost didn't feel real. And perhaps this is what makes travel truly meaningful. It's not always about how many places you've been to, how many landmarks you've seen together, or how many things you've crossed off a bucket list. Sometimes, it's about how deeply you allow yourself to experience a place, to slow down, to stay a little longer, to notice the view in front of you and the person sitting beside you. Because years from now, we may not remember exactly what we ordered for lunch, but I think we'll remember how this afternoon felt. Quiet, intimate, unhurried. A simple lunch by the lake in a little village between the mountains and the water. And for a while, the journey asked nothing from us, except to be here. May konting hike. Konti lang naman, kaya natin yan. Para sa picture, mag-hike tayo. Gusto ko magkaroon ng vacation house dito. Mangangarap ka lang din naman. Why not? Pero tira, parang ang quiet masyado, no? Oh my God. Hinihingal na ako. Konti pa. Konti pang hike.
Oh my God.
Ito kasi yung site na yan. Mas maganda yung vantage point from here para makapture mo yung side lake na to, ng village na to. Imagine mo kung ito yung bahay mo. Paano ba maging friend to? Char. After getting that classic Hallstatt money shot, we continued exploring a little farther into the village. From here, we follow the narrow streets past the hillside homes overlooking the lake. It's a quieter side of Hallstatt, away from the busy waterfront, where every little opening between houses seems to reveal another beautiful view. We then started making our way uphill, a short hike through the village that would take us to the little church and cemetery overlooking Hallstatt. Okay tayo dito. May isa pang parang church. Tignan natin kung ano yung meron dito. This has to be one of the most beautifully situated cemeteries we've ever seen. But before we explore it, standing just above the village is Hallstatt's Catholic Parish Church of the Assumption, also known as Maria Amberg. For generations, this has been an important place of worship for the local community, and right beside it is Hallstatt's remarkably beautiful hillside cemetery. Perched high above the village, the graves overlook the rooftops, the lake, and the mountains beyond. In a village where every piece of usable ground was precious, space wasn't only a challenge for the living, it was something the community had to consider even after death. With only a limited number of burial plots, graves were historically reused after a number of years. Some remains were carefully exhumed and the bones were eventually placed in a nearby bone house, inside St. Michael's Chapel. What partly began as a practical response to limited space eventually became one of Hallstatt's most distinctive traditions. And perhaps that's another side of Hallstatt worth seeing. Not just its postcard views, but how generations of people learn to live, worship, and even remember their loved ones within the little space nature gave them. Nag-spend din tayo ng 6 hours in this beautiful lakeside village. Alam mo, kung meron akong key takeaway from our visit sa Hallstatt, that is to slow down, to be present in the moment. Na-appreciate ko yung stories ng mga houses nila. Na-appreciate ko kung gaano kakalma yung lake na to. And I appreciate na maupo ka muna, savor the moment, embrace the journey, at hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon dapat nagmamadali ka. I'll definitely go back to this beautiful lakeside village, and I'm glad that Luven and I were able to cross this out from our travel bucket list. If you have an opportunity to travel here in Austria, sana masama mo sa bucket list mo ang Hallstatt. You will never regret visiting this beautiful town. Paano? If sinamahan mo kami for this episode from the beginning up until the end, I do appreciate your time. That means a lot. I don't know where the next adventure will lead us, but I hope to see you on the next one. This has been Tony. Bye! And just like that, Hallstatt slowly began to disappear behind us. Standing on the ferry, watching the village grow smaller against the mountains, I found myself looking back a little longer than usual. Maybe because I knew I wasn't ready to go home just yet. Travel has a way of teaching you things when you least expect it. First, not every beautiful place needs to be conquered. We don't always have to see everything, do everything, or come home with a perfectly completed itinerary. Sometimes, experiencing less allows us to remember more. Second, the best souvenirs are often the ones we cannot pack. A quiet lunch beside a lake, a conversation without watching the time, the sound of water against the shore, a view that makes you stop talking for a moment. These are the things that somehow follow us home. And third, some goodbyes are really just promises we quietly make to ourselves. I don't know when or even if I'll ever get a chance to return to Hallstatt. But as we sailed away, watching this little fairy tale village fade into the distance. A part of me was already hoping that someday, somehow, life would lead me back here again. Because perhaps that is a beautiful thing about traveling. We arrive as visitors, but every once in a while, we leave a piece of ourselves behind. And maybe that's why we keep looking back. Until next time, Hallstatt.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good